NLP for short, and it's basically how to reprogram all the subconscious things you've ever learned from when you were in the womb of your mother's belly until you are now. All the thoughts that don't correlate to your goal as to win a Grand Slam or to win a local tournament. And basically, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, it just stands for neuro, so the thoughts you're having in your brain and the pathways connecting to the brain. Linguistic is the language, the way you talk to yourself, what words you use, what relationship you have with certain words. And then programming is basically programming the thoughts you want to have in specific moments. How that helps the players is they just basically are able to deconstruct these beliefs and values they used to have as a child or a normal person who didn't have aspirational goals as 0.1% people achieve. And they basically deconstruct those values and beliefs, and they take on ones that they have to have in order to win a Grand Slam, for example.
Okay.
And so it attacks the core of their personality. Personalities can change. It stands for personal reality. So the way you view things can change. And that's been a big part of what I do, because it helps players see something that they couldn't see before. Like they could believe something that they didn't think was possible before.
Okay, so can you give me like a concrete example, maybe even something that you've used recently? Because I'm trying to think of ways in which maybe the everyday player could even maybe use some of these techniques of, just playing in any kind of match. What I can do to kind of help myself, I don't know, stay in the moment or try and work through some of the kind of, negative thoughts that you kind of naturally have as a human being.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Put me on the spot then. So with NLP, it's about 12 presuppositions, which I could go through one of them, which is basically the map that you use to view the world. So how you view the world. So for example, you hear a lot of players at local level, club level, they might say, oh, that was unlucky, for example, or they'll say bad luck, or
classic.
So that would, yeah, classic. So we would want to reprogram that. We would actually want to take accountability for that in a positive way. So for example, if you've come off the court and it was like 10-9 in the tie break, or game points, or hit the net cord or anything, we kind of want to help the player track back in the points. And this is post-match. We want to track the player, help the player track where they could have been accountable for the whole of that match, to the point where they gave the opportunity for a let cord to beat them. And obviously, it sounds crazy, but it's just the way that a player's mind should operate, because then they can go back and actually gain power. So now you're like, oh, okay, there was that moment on juice where I double faulted. So what do I have to do? What can I take accountability for there? I'll have to be more relaxed. So then you start making a program on how to be more relaxed, stay in the moment. When you're saying about tools, about how to stay in the moment and things like that, a lot of people ask me that. And yes, there are tools out there that I could just give and people could apply, but I see a lot on YouTube, I see a lot of podcasts, I see a lot of people doing this. And whilst I would say it's good to just see what's out there, I think everything is a lot more personal than people think. So I would obviously always recommend meditation. And what I mean by meditation, I mean like transcendental meditation, even for a local player. That sounds a bit crazy, but it basically means, can you focus on your breath going in your nose for 4 seconds? Can you hold your breath for 4 seconds? And then can you breathe out for 4 seconds? And that's a really basic tool that you can do in between points or at the changeovers. And even for a local player or a regional player, that would transform your mood. That would transform your thoughts, because you're getting more oxygen to your brain. You're able to think clearer. You're able to move past certain scenarios. And then you wouldn't have the same ideas that you had before you sat down at a changeover. So if you were mad, or if you were angry, or you couldn't get over something, that would help a lot. But going back to your question about the NLP, that's more like mantras and what to say to yourself. So here's a crazy one that a lot of players I meet struggle to do. When they shank the ball, or when they make an error, or when the opponent hits a winner, I ask them to say thank you, which is a crazy one. But I asked them to say thank you in a pre-context established before, which is they have to be grateful for what that showed them. And that changes the pathway of their brain. So it gives them more energy. So if you're grateful for what that showed you, I mean, grateful for other people might mean something different, but for the players I work with, this is all personal things. It's not a blanket thing, but we use the word grateful. And they basically now can go, oh, I'm grateful they hit a winner against me. That means I need to hit my ball deeper. That's showing me I need to be more purposeful. I have to put the ball in the other area of the court because I'm hitting to his strengths. So you get more energy as opposed to you shank the ball. Yes, you're going to be a little bit frustrated. You're going to have a little reaction. But if you shank the ball, that means your timing is not right or you didn't move your feet. So I'm grateful that happened, because if that happened now at the start of the match, now I know I have to move my feet straight away. But the longer I am pissed off at that certain thing about shanking or missing, then the longer it's going to take you to realize, oh, I need to move my feet.
Hey there, tennis friends. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that episode, then you might want to click here for this one. See you there.